Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of February 20th. We're just gonna jump right in here and see what is going on for you at this time. You have this community card, and I would say that something is changing in your community, or you are changing. Some of you are like walking away from a community, or it's like you don't want to be part of a community. This is why, right here. I'm pretty sure in your last reading, Aquarius, that I said that it's almost like you're outgrowing a situation, or, I don't know. I almost feel that something has triggered you, not like in a bad way, right? But, sometimes I think we get triggered in a good way, where maybe we feel triggered by like our surroundings, or we feel uncomfortable where we are in life. Here you go, right here, Tower. I definitely see that something has happened here. And again, the star card wanted to pop out there. This, just so you know, it wasn't really, it kind of just popped out. So I don't really take pop outs, but the star card is a good card, so let's take it. But yeah, just like what I see here is like you don't necessarily want to be part of a community any longer. And that could be anything. That could be family, it could be a relationship that you have, it could be a business that you work for, your career, right? And again, this is not a bad thing. It's not like, for some of you, bad things are happening, but for the most part, what I would say is that Royal You card just says that you're outgrowing a situation, and we are in a time of extreme growth. So, no clickbait. I mean, Pluto in Aquarius is extreme growth. Plus, Pluto leaving Capricorn in the first place is just the end of establishment. It is the end of things that have been established for a very long period of time. And again, it's been there for 20 years. This has been happening for 20 years. Doesn't matter if you're only 20 years old, right? Doesn't matter. This has been going on for a long time. And again, we don't get the medicine of a planet until it leaves the sign. So it leaves in March. It's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, but Pluto moves very, very slowly. It is just barely ticking over into Capricorn this year when it goes retrograde, and then next year it's going to move into Aquarius officially. But another thing that I think is important, other than the fact that it's in your sign, is that Pluto, when it's in Capricorn, is as close to Earth as it possibly can get, and then now it's on its way out, right? So we're seeing these changes that are going to define like the next hundreds of years. So these are like big changes, and I try to get people to understand that. I think people think I'm capping when I say this, but no cap is what the kids say nowadays, right? No lie, these are going to be some big freaking changes. Why do you think you see all this crazy shit going on with the UFOs, chemical spills, all this shit? Like, are you kidding me? You have the Chariot right here. The Chariot is a victory. And so I feel like there are some big victories coming in, but definitely moving on to bigger and better things. Again, everybody's been getting the Chariot. And the whole point of the Chariot is that he's setting himself apart. He's leaving the city behind him. And it represents the fact that, he grew up in the city. He had to learn this city that is behind him. But now he wants to make himself different. Maybe everybody in that city is exactly the same, right? And he wants to go sow his wild oats. He wants to go figure out where he can create his own world. He kind of looks like the magician. And he even has the wand that the magician is holding onto in his arms. He also has the stars in his canopy, and he has those moons on his shoulders. All of that represents, as above, so below. So I really feel there's like a victory coming in for you, but it's going to come through creating your own life, setting yourself apart, and, maybe even breaking ancestral patterns, which we see with the community card. And also we have Neptune and Pisces. I know this is all a mouthful, but I'm trying to make it simple. What I would say is Neptune and Pisces is like, all the things that we grew up thinking. Neptune and Pisces comes in and says, why? Why do you believe that you should eat carrots for lunch or dinner? Because your mom told you that they were good for you. But what if carrots are trying to kill you? I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but those are like the types of beliefs. We are probably going to start questioning everything as we get closer and closer to 2025, like the end of 2025, when Neptune starts going into Aries. It's like, why do I believe all these things I was told? And there is no right or wrong answer. That's the other thing, right? It's what the answer is your answer, not my answer, not someone else's answer, not someone on TV, not their answer, right? The universe is trying to get everyone to believe that and to understand that you are the authority over your own life. And what matters is what fulfills your heart. You have the Queen of Cups, Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius says if you follow your heart, then you will be successful, not if you follow everybody else, right? So you are definitely one of the signs, I think, that really needs to follow yourself the most. So I don't know. That's it. That's all I would say there. You have this Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is a card of walking away. Again, we're also in between eclipses. Again, we have never lived in a time like this. We will never live in a time like this again because we'll be dead the next time this happens. But what I would say here is that the Eight of Cups represents it's the only card in the tarot that represents an eclipse right here. And the next set of eclipses in April. So between now and April, there will probably be a lot of changes going on. Some of you, I feel, there could be like minor frustrations, but these aren't like bad frustrations. They're probably just things where you are feeling like you want to move away from things that no longer serve you. And sorry, these were all mixed up. So we're going to have to do a quick shuffle here and see what is coming in for you, Aquarius. With the Chariot, you have the Six of Swords. That was one of the cards that was flipped over. So there you go. Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores. Everything you're doing is to have success. You know, I always say that the woman and the child in the Six of Swords, they are on their own. There's nothing, you know, they have the guide in the back of the boat who represents a guide. He goes back and forth between choppy waters, but they are leaving everything behind and going on to those calmer shores. They are not bringing anything with them but the clothes on their back. I mean, like literally these two cards might as well be the same in your reading. With the Queen of Cups, you have the High Priestess. Yes, more about needing to trust your intuition, right? The right path for you is going to be the intuitive, heart-led path. Both. I would say that those two things are different because, you know, it's like we have to trust our intuition, but sometimes I think our heart tells us something different. Maybe even our head tells us something different. Everybody, you know, there are so many people that are like, oh, you have to follow your intuition, or oh, you have to follow your head or your heart. I say, why not listen to all three? It's like maybe kind of like taking a minute and thinking about things and then listening to what your heart says and then also trusting your intuition, combining them. It's like, why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't it be everything? And you know, I would like listen to all of them and weigh your options. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, definitely going on some sort of adventure. Going this way, right here. Every single one of these cards represents a journey. I feel like you're on a journey to this right here in the area of the unexpected. I don't really feel that it's unexpected. I just think that you're kind of like, you know, becoming royalty in quotation marks, right? It's not like literal. Maybe there's like a little bit of a glow up that you're working on right now. I also feel like you're, again, by making these decisions, these maybe difficult decisions that you've been making for years and listening to yourself, you are kind of becoming more powerful, more successful, more abundant, like all those things. You have the Seven of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Cups here. Again, I think this is going to be the challenge, right, is Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, you always get the Seven of Cups, and I'm always saying to you that there's some sort of dream that needs to come down to earth. I think it's the overcomplication that is getting in the way. It's like sometimes I think we have like a big goal, wish, or dream, but we start thinking about love, and we start thinking about all these other things that we think we want in life, right? But, you know, I think what people need to realize, especially right now, when you focus on this, Pluto and Aquarius is the star, which is your North Star. It's like when you focus on having a purpose, when you focus on your North Star, which is just, you know, doing something that motivates you, working on a project, a business, a goal that you want to work on, and just focusing on that will attract everything else that you want into your life. So I would just focus on the star. I would focus on whatever your star is. And it's probably something that you're afraid to do, probably something that's very big picture. Again, could be like starting a business, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe your North Star is having a family, or maybe it's getting married, or whatever it is. It's different for all of us, right? But we need to, we need to follow these things. I keep trying to remind people, it's like, why do you think there are so many strong opinions right now where it's like everybody's like, oh, you have to be this or that, right? It's because the universe is trying to get people to be like, no, listen to yourself. Don't listen to some bozo online, including me, right? Don't listen to whatever. Listen to yourself. Go on the adventure. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands says, go towards the things that you want. It will be an adventure. But also follow your excitement. You need to follow things that make you feel excited. I feel like you need to follow things that, that you desire to do as well. The Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, really all the Wands cards, all the Court Wands cards, always remind me of to follow your desire, to do the things that make you feel happy or fulfilled, right? That's what I'd be focusing on here. You have the Five of Cups. When we try to move away from something, that's when it calls out the loudest, right? On this card, there is a guy right here who is drowning. So it's like when we start to be grateful, when we start moving towards our own fulfillment, the past or things that are limiting situations right here in our life, that's when they kind of like pop back up and try to distract us. I feel like I don't really feel it's talking about like the past, or I really don't think it's talking about one thing or the other in your reading. I feel like it's saying that you should ignore the things that all of a sudden start screaming in your life when you start moving on, when you start moving forward, when you start finding success, right? With the Seven of Cups, you have the Three of Cups. Yes, there is a celebration coming in for you. I feel like you're finding new people. Like, look at this. Even going this direction, I don't necessarily think this is like one person. For some of you, clearly there could be love coming in, although I wouldn't really call this a love reading. I feel like this is kind of saying that there are new people in your life who will be very supportive. There are new people in your life who will push you forward, who don't try to limit you. Again, I always tell people to be very careful of like sharing your goals, wishes, and dreams. You have to share them with the right people, and not the wrong people, because, some people, they don't want to see you be successful, right? With the Page of Wands, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, these two fives here, like I said, it's like leaving something behind, realizing that something maybe can't support you, or, realizing that something that you thought was stable isn't as stable. Maybe part of your community, or maybe a person in your life. It's going to be different for all of you. And some of you just could be moving, by the way. I mean, this right here is clearly a move. And sometimes we can be sad when we move with the Five of Pentacles, but, it's like sometimes we have to move because where we are is keeping us stuck. And maybe this isn't like a move, but maybe you're like changing jobs because maybe the job you're at, there's no more growth opportunity, or, maybe there's limiting beliefs with the boss or whatever. With the Five of Cups, you have the Three of Swords. I feel like there could be some regrets in a breakup situation, but I don't know. I really feel like you're healing from this, so wouldn't even worry about it, Aquarius. It doesn't seem like a big deal. I would watch your health at this time. Like if you're feeling tired, rest. If you're feeling exhausted, rest. You're going to have, what I would say is Saturn's moving into Pisces. I don't know. I can't say what I want to say on YouTube. Let's put it that way about Neptune and Pisces. But, what I would say is, and then adding Saturn on top of that and some of the other stuff that's going on, I would just watch your health. Let's put it that way. Next, we're going to look at the critical information you need to hear right now. I mean, the whole entire reading, you have this canary spirit which says sing your own song. So the whole entire reading has been all about this. It says don't listen to anyone else. You listen to yourself, and that's it. You just make your own decisions. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. People who make more mistakes are usually more successful. It's like people who play it safe are like Bubble Boy, right? They don't get anywhere. So there you go. You have the Three of Wands, the Emperor, and the Tower. I wouldn't even worry about this. Definitely could be a Tower moment going on for you, but the Tower is necessary. You also have that Star. So, in the Major Arcana, we go from the Tower to the Star, and it represents kind of like, healing from a Tower moment, the Star card. But I also do feel that this could be kind of like seeing reality for what it is. So the whole point of the Tower is that those people have built the walls of the tower up around them too high, and they're ignoring reality. So the tower happens so they can be brought back down to reality. You could be having a shocking realization this week. I kind of feel like you already have had the shocking realization where, again, maybe you're realizing that a group of people isn't right for you. Maybe you're realizing that you have to move or you have to leave a business, and so you have to go look for a job or whatever. And the reason I say this is because you also have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands basically says, what are you waiting for? You already know the answer, so what are you waiting for, And it's a card of like needing to expand, needing to get out on those ships. I always say that the Three of Wands can represent your ships coming in, but really those ships are pointing out. They are going out to sea. The true story of the Three of Wands is that he's looking at that water and he thinks that it's a desert. It's golden in color, the water. But when he looks closer, he sees those ships, and those ships represent opportunity in some part of your life where you don't think there's an opportunity, but there actually is. And he needs to go get on those ships so that he can be more successful, so he can, explore new opportunities. You have the Emperor here. I literally feel that the Emperor is just saying take action. So I do feel it's time for you to, kind of like get a move on here. I feel like you're going to be very successful, Aquarius, if you get moving with this energy. Some of you could also be dealing with an Aquarius here, if you're looking for love. But again, I wouldn't really call this a love reading. With the Three of Wands, you have the Hierophant. Hierophant is needing to think outside the box, and that's like the thing with the Three of Wands. It's like we're afraid of doing things that we've never done before, and then you do it, and you realize that things aren't that scary, or the world isn't as scary as you think. So I do get more, it's not like a traditional meaning of the Hierophant, but I get this energy of like needing to face your fears, needing to kind of like see what's out there. With the Emperor, you have the Ace of Swords. You will be victorious if you do this. Big victories coming in for you. Like, I feel like it hasn't been easy, especially with that tower. With the tower, you have the tower. So literally the universe saying, I meant what I said. And, that's really all there is to say about that. So don't fear the tower moment. For some of you, again, at the end, you have this in the area of the good stuff. It doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be positive no matter what. But you do have this false person card. And I do feel that, it might not sound good, but it is. Like, I feel like you're seeing someone as a false person. It could be a past person, a person you're with. It could be a community. Again, whatever that first card is, that community card, I feel like it's some sort of transformation going on with the people or the, maybe your environment. It might not be people. It might just be a false situation. Like, sometimes I think we have a job maybe and it gives us a false sense of security, but really it's not that secure. I like to remind people as well, it's like if you've been at a job for 20 years, it's like maybe you've been getting raises that whole entire time, but if you add up the if you include inflation, it's like, are you really making more money? Are you getting paid exactly the same as when you were there 20 years ago, right? So maybe it's time for an upgrade, and I feel like you're seeing a situation kind of for what it is. And, it's allowing you to move forward. You have the Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups, King of Pentacles, and you kind of have the Star because it kind of popped out there. But what I would say is I love 2 6s. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love 2 6s. To me, 2 6s says you're kind of like on the right path. You're going the right direction, and you're kind of like moving the right way. So I feel like you're going in the right direction with these 6s. Six of Pentacles also just says that, it's time to plant seeds. He only invests in things that invest back in him. And maybe that's been a major lesson that you've learned, Aquarius, is to not invest in situations that don't invest in you. And I feel if you look back over the past 20 years, I feel like if you look at your lessons that you've learned, especially recently, because when a planet gets to the end of the sign, like, Pluto in Capricorn, it's getting to the end now, that's when we really learn the lessons, right? That's when more and more stuff comes up. So if you look at the past few years, overinvestment, right? Putting too much energy into things that don't invest in you, that's probably what you have learned, the lesson you have learned. Again, I kind of feel like you're healing from this tower moment if you had one in the past. There could be regrets, but again, I would let go of your regrets, like if you're regretting things. I always like to remind people that it's like, really, we don't make any wrong decisions in life, even if we think that it's a wrong decision. Someone always gives me some sort of example, like, oh, my aunt got run over by a bus because she made the decision to walk to the store and broke her leg and like all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, but, it's like things happen for a reason. Maybe we don't understand it, but it was maybe always meant to happen. It's like there's like no, it's not really a mistake, right? But there's a quote from the Buddha where he says, if you only knew how perfect your life was, you would throw your head up at the sky and laugh. And it's like when we operate like that, then things start to happen for us. And you have these Six of Cups here. Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe. And the gift we usually receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround or obstacles being removed from our path. So I kind of feel like obstacles are being removed from your path here. You have the King of Pentacles, more stability coming in for you. But here's the thing, is that the King of Pentacles is the card of convention. He represents like the way things have always been done. And you and Leo, your opposite sign, you always get this card. And so I feel for a lot of you that you like, King of Pentacles sometimes to me represents like playing it safe or sticking in a comfort zone or something like that, doing things the same way. So again, I would take advantage of this Pluto and Aquarius energy, and I would try different things in different areas of your life. But really good. I also feel like your finances are improving here. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Chariot. I'm telling you right now. Like, you cannot make this up, right? It's like a 6 with the Chariot, a 6 with the Chariot as well. Definitely some sort of victory coming in for you. And again, if you're stepping into the unknown, the Chariot really says leaving behind that city, leaving behind an establishment is what's going to make you successful. With the Six of Cups, you have the Sun. Love it. Definitely a lot of happiness coming in for you. And with the King of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so what I would say is that the King of Pentacles grounding energy. And again, you always get the Seven of Cups with me recently. And I feel like this is a dream star that needs to come down to earth. It's like something that you see that could be very fulfilling. It could be a business, it could be a relationship, it could be having a family, like I said, or whatever, right? So then what I would say is I would be careful of, kind of just believing all of something. And what the hell am I talking about? Well, it's like, if you notice online, it's like there are a lot of videos about like pretty much everything, right? But it just seems to me like it's like all or nothing on like one side or the other, right? It's like even I always bring up the example of relationship videos because of all you people, I get recommended these like crazy relationship videos, and it's like there are all these relationship videos where it's like men are horrible, then there are all these relationship videos where women are horrible, and I'm like, yeah, but like, okay, it's like maybe both things are true based off of different experiences, but there are also people who prove it wrong, who aren't horrible. It's like not everyone is horrible. So I think we need to be careful of this extreme thinking, like, oh, because some men cheat, all men are horrible, or vice versa. Same thing with women. Because all women are out there going to clubs every single night or whatever, they're all horrible. It's like I think there's probably like some sort of middle ground, and I'm just using relationships as an example. That's not what the only thing that this is talking about, right? And so I would just be careful of being like having that all or nothing type like belief system, right? I would say it's not that there's like a middle ground. I just think that whatever you believe to be true is true. So I would be careful of your beliefs, right? And believe what you want. Believe the truth that you want. You have this kangaroo card. It says unsettled times, need to plan ahead. You do have the Tower twice here. I don't really feel this is like unsettled. I feel it's more saying like, things need to be stable. Watch your finances, especially. I keep telling people, it's like, don't be, even if you have $1 billion in your bank account, I wouldn't be spending like crazy. I would be, being smart. You have this crown card. It says honor and respect will come to you. Basically 2 crowns. You have that royal U card. Well, more, because you have the emperor and all that. So I feel like there's kind of like a little bit of a glow up here. You have this needle and thread. It says a sincere wish will be granted. So there is some sort of wish that you've been hoping for. It could be like a turnaround as well that's coming in for you. So if you've been hoping for an improvement, I feel like there are some improvements coming in for you as well. Next, you have this broken wish card that says wish will not be granted. I feel like for some of you, it's like, I really don't think this is a wish. I think that, because you have the wish granted and then you have this card that says a wish will not be granted. But I think this is more the thinking of the way things used to be. And I do think we need to be very careful of that right now because, a lot of us might be wishing that things could be better, things could go in a new direction, and they just don't. And, I feel like that's what this is saying. You have this older man card. I always clarify these man cards or the woman cards, whatever. And you have this card that says dealings or relationships with an older man. Then you have this box card that says you will receive a gift. So some of you could just be an older person. I don't attach gender to these readings, so, take it how it resonates. But I do feel like you could be receiving a gift from a person. I also feel for some of you that are looking for love that there could be a person who is like a gift coming in for you. And I think that's shown up in a couple of your readings recently, that there's like a person who kind of feels like a gift, just a good person. But, is it right now? I would say no. I think this is coming in the future, because right now I think you should focus on yourself and what you want to do with your life, plain and simple. But this looks really good. So sorry. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Ignore the voice, right? Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your week.